From the campus of the University of Kentucky, you're listening to Behind the Blue. I'm Cody Kaiser with UK Strategic Communications.
Some of these students are going up against thousands of other students from all over the nation, from all different types of schools and backgrounds. And I can say without a doubt that UK students are just as prepared and motivated and ready as students going to Ivy League schools or some of these big names that you always hear a lot about. And so absolutely students should not think that maybe they're not prepared enough or not ready enough, because this office is definitely proof that they can compete on a national level and win. We really want to guide students through that process so that they are making the best decisions for them. We're really hands-on. And when we say, when I tell my students I have an open door policy, I mean it.
That's Schyler Simpson, the University of Kentucky's new Director of Nationally Competitive Awards. A 3-degree UK alum and longtime student advocate, Simpson has spent much of her career helping students find their place and pursue big goals at UK. On this episode of Behind the Blue, my colleague Tom Musgrave talks with Simpson about her own path from freshman to faculty member and now administrator, how her office works hands-on with students to pursue major scholarships and fellowships like the Fulbright, Rhodes, and Goldwater, and why UK students should never assume those kinds of transformative opportunities are out of reach.
Well, I'm here with Dr. Schyler Simpson, Director of UK's Office of Nationally Competitive Awards. She's relatively new in that role, but not to this campus. So give us the nickel tour of your time here at UK. You've been an instructor, an advisor, and a recruiter. What has been your career here?
Well, I always say that my career started in 2002 when I was a freshman here. So I am a lifer at UK. I've gotten all 3 degrees from the University of Kentucky. And of course, that just my love for this place fueled me to want to stay here for my career as long as they would have me. So right out of my PhD, I did start teaching. So I've been teaching here for about 15 years. And then I was first an advisor. And then through some great opportunities, I was able to move into those recruiter spaces and then retention and engagement for the College of Communication and Information, which is where I hailed from. That was where my undergraduate and graduate degrees were from. And so just through the years, some of the amazing opportunities that my mentors have given me and allowed me to stay here has just, propelled my career, and I have no intention of leaving.
Well, I want to kind of drill down into something that you had mentioned before and follow up. What is it about UK in general that has kept you here?
Mm-hmm. So I will go back to my days as a recruiter and then how I myself felt, even as a freshman. When you talk to people who are on campus and you ask them, why are they here or why do they stay here? It's really funny because lots of times they don't necessarily have one particular reason why they're here, but they'll tell you it's a feeling I have. It's just a feeling that I have that this place is home or this is the right place for me. And that was really how I felt my freshman year stepping foot on campus because, truth be told, I did not intend to come to UK. I was planning to go out of state, but I visited UK. My dad really wanted me to try some in-state schools. And so I toured and that was it. It was like, this is it. This is where I want to be. And that feeling has just grown as I have been here and I've been able to work with some amazing students that just remind me why I want to be here and that this is the place for me. So I have had great mentors and people along the way, but I have to be honest, it's those interactions with the students that really have made my love grow for UK.
Where in Kentucky are you originally from?
I am from Western Kentucky. So I was born and raised in a very tiny town about 30 minutes outside Bowling Green called Russellville, Kentucky. And so graduated from there and came here.
So do you get nostalgic or sentimental when you're remembering things that obviously there's been some change since 2002, but do you get sentimental over over things as you walk around campus?
All the time, every day. We were just talking about, when I came back into this building, the main building, I used to be a visitor center tour guide on the first floor of this building when I was an undergrad. And so when we walked in, I was like, oh man, this takes me back. Like this is where I spent a lot of my sophomore, junior, and senior year was in the first floor of this space. So especially going into buildings that I haven't been in for a while and just noticing the changes or noticing if things are staying the same, that also just builds that feeling of being home. Right? Like, this is familiar to me. This is what I remember. This is what pretty much the better half of my life has been built upon, is this place. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
So I want to talk about the job that you're in now. Can you tell us what the attraction was to the position that you have with the Office of Nationally Competitive Awards, and how has all that experience that you've had at UK kind of built to that?
Yes. So as I mentioned, I've spent the last probably 15 years really in that retention and engagement space. So building opportunities for students to get involved. I also was the advisor for an honor society in the college that I came from. And so just being able to work with a diverse background of students that are coming from all different places that have different skills and needs really inspired me to kind of look at where else I might be of use on campus and to spread my wings and maybe help students in a different capacity. And so when this job became available, it was definitely something that spoke to me, that I wanted to at least throw my hat in the ring and see how it went, because I'd never really worked with these types of students on things like nationally competitive awards or fellowships or scholarships. And so I really just saw it as a opportunity to work with students in a different fashion and help them in a different way.
Now, when you were here, did you ever apply for or receive any of those, the awards or the fellowships or scholarships?
I did not. And that was actually something that I talked about in my interview, is that I came to campus really like my father had gone to college, but many, many years ago. And so really it was me just kind of figuring out how to navigate college by myself. And so I really didn't know about a lot of those opportunities and things that I could have applied to. And so that is definitely a piece of it. I would love to broaden the horizon of the office on campus, make more people and students and faculty and staff aware of what we offer so that those students can find us and we can work with them to hopefully get them some really cool opportunities.
Well, it's a nice segue into my next question. We're going to want to shift to the office that you work for. What is it that you and your assistant director, Emily Selly, we want to give her a shout out.
Yes.
What is it that you do for students?
We do everything from not only helping them identify scholarships and let them know what's in our office, we help them with the application process. So if a student needs help with a personal statement or writing their essays, we will work through that with them as well. We also will provide endorsements to some of our larger scholarships that require endorsements from the university. So really, we are there to help students along in every phase of the application process, from discovering what's possible to we've got this, let's submit it, and you're ready. So
it's more than just like a bulletin board. Hey, you can apply for this. It's sort of, there's a counseling component to it as well.
100%. There is career counseling. There is the scholarship counseling. I mean, even like academic counseling, right? And talking to through them because of what their major is or what their interests are, and really kind of helping them find what the best fit is. So that's another reason why this job really spoke to me, was because coming from a history of academic advising and teaching, I still got to keep a lot of those things that I was really passionate about, because this job includes all of that and more.
Now, I know we'll get into like some of the specifics about what types of awards you administer, but I know some of them have to do with study abroad. Mm-hmm. And do you ever find yourself in positions of having to sort of counsel a student who's maybe never traveled abroad before and is a little nervous about that?
Yes. And we are always going to work with our study abroad partners too, for students who have never studied abroad, to make sure that they have all the information they need, and talk to them about what the different options are, where they might want to go. But again, kind of using our resources and connecting students with other areas that can help them too. And that was my biggest regret as an undergrad, was that I didn't study abroad. And so any student who comes to me wanting to study abroad, that's something that I absolutely want to help them find their way, even if they've never been out of the state of Kentucky, because a lot of them haven't.
Well, this is going to be the $1 million question, and in the interest of broadening the scope and horizon of your office, what sort of opportunities are available to students through your office that they need to be aware of?
Mm-hmm. So we have scholarships if you are STEM majors, if you are planning to go to graduate school, the fellowships that can lead you into graduate programming. We have, if you are interested in teaching English abroad, we have lots of opportunities for that. We, of course, have opportunities just to study and or research abroad. And a lot of those opportunities are, available to students even their sophomore year. So that's one of the reasons why we really want to get in front of students and have them start thinking about the opportunities in our office early, because a lot of those start their sophomore year, and then they can do things their junior and senior year and propel them into graduate school. And so the earlier they know about us, the better.
So the first year students should feel free to come by and say, hey, I'm looking at this. I know I'm a first year, but what is available to me?
Yes, please, because we can establish that relationship with the student, and then they always know that they have us, so that when the time comes, we can kind of say, all right, next year, this is kind of what you need to be thinking about. And so come back and see us in August or September, so we can really start getting the ball rolling on the different types of awards or scholarships you want to apply for.
Are you, in an effort to, as you said, broaden the horizons of the office, are you able to put the office and its mission in front of the first-year students at orientation or visiting or any of those avenues?
That's what we're working on. So really, with Emily being my best partner in this, really trying to rethink about who we should get in front of, and whether that be the assistant deans, the directors of undergraduate studies, so that they know that this office exists. And then by opening those doors, then that leads to more opportunities to get in front of students. So kind of starting with those assistant deans, associate deans, and the different colleges and departments on campus, and then going from there. So getting in front of them at orientation might be a little too soon, just because as someone who's worked orientation for many, many years, orientation can be a lot of information. So really kind of what I'm thinking of is, after orientation, once they're here on campus, what are some of the best modalities to get in front of them?
What are because I know, because I've written about some of them myself, what are some of the most prestigious awards that you help administer, that you help students kind of navigate the application process for?
Yes. So I would say some of the ones that, even with the short time that I've been in office, that I'm learning a lot about are, of course, the Rhodes Scholarship, Fulbright, there's Goldwater, there's a Gilman Study Abroad, Marshall, Truman. All of those are kind of those really nationally recognized names for competitive scholarships, and we help students with all of those.
Astronaut scholarship is
Astronaut,
my favorite.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I missed that, and we were just talking about that earlier today.
I'm just a big space nerd, so that's the one that, and plus there was we'll talk about Asa O'Neill, who received, and I talked to him, and he's a very good student, and probably a good ambassador for what you do here.
Yes.
If you weren't out in Colorado now.
Yes. We have, we've been talking to a couple of students who are thinking about applying for that, and listening to these students' research is so inspiring. Even in the short time I've been in the position, the stories that students tell me about what they want to do and how they want to change the world, man, that is inspiring. And that makes me want to get up tomorrow and, well, not Saturday necessarily, but on Monday, come back in and keep listening to those stories, and then just to think that we might be a small part of them finding, something that they're really passionate about that's it for me.
And I think that's an important part of it, because, you may have a student, especially first year, sophomore, like, I don't have anything to say. There's nothing out there for me. I don't have anything original, but, you're saying that there could be, and there's an opportunity here for you to explore that.
Absolutely. And if it's not, like, if we are looking for things and there might not be like that perfect fit at that moment for that student, the connections that we have with other offices on campus, we don't necessarily work in a bubble. Obviously, we have lots of partners. And so maybe if something doesn't quite fit at the time for that student in our office, maybe we can connect them to the Office of Undergraduate Research or the Office of Study Abroad, so that we can really help that student find where they want to be.
So obviously we're talking about UK students who are applying for these awards, but the reality is there are tons of students and schools out there that these students are competing with. Can you kind of give, I guess, the 30,000-foot view of what these students are, I hate to say up against, but in terms of and how we do?
Absolutely. So as you mentioned, obviously we're looking at nationally competitive awards. So some of these students are going up against thousands of other students from all over the nation, from all different types of schools and backgrounds. And I can say without a doubt that UK students are just as prepared and motivated and ready as students going to Ivy League schools or some of these big names that you always hear a lot about. And so we have students who are receiving these awards and fellowships every single day. They're representing UK here at home and abroad. And so absolutely students should not think that maybe they're not prepared enough or not ready enough, because this office is definitely proof that they can compete on a national level and win.
And that there are things happening at state schools as well. You don't have to go to a private university.
Not at all.
Not to disrespect them at all, but there are things going on at state campuses that are just as competitive.
Right. And I think we're really lucky too, because obviously we're at a research intensive university for students who want to do that, but then also being only one of 8 campuses that have all of those different areas and departments in one contiguous campus, I think really is a benefit to our students, because they can explore all of those different areas. And that's just stuff that can help, them write their personal statements or include on their resumes or answer those essays. That really are such fabulous opportunities across campus, and we're seeing those students take advantage of it. But we want more students to take advantage of it. So
they're well positioned for success if
yes.
if they really mean it and want to go after it.
Absolutely.
So I want to talk now. And I'll admit, I'll confess, it's probably not fair to ask you this question, but I will ask you to draw upon your extensive experience here at UK. What are some examples of inspiring stories that you maybe have heard from students who've shared that they maybe had a life-changing experience as a result of an award or a fellowship or a scholarship they received, and how you are able to sort of counsel them to that kind of success?
So I will use one of my former students when I was in my former role. She was a journalism major, and she came to talk to me about this office and was talking about the different scholarships that she was thinking about applying for. And she came from a really, smaller area. She was extremely intelligent and bright. She came here out of state all by herself to pursue a degree here at UK. But that was one thing that she kind of talked to me about was, would I be ready to do this? Because the one that she wanted to apply for was the Fulbright scholarship. So she wanted to go abroad to England to study. And of course, I absolutely told her, yes, we really need to get you applied to this. And so that's when we kind of reached out to Emily and the former director and started talking through that process with her. And I will never forget. So when she found out that she had received the Fulbright award, her parents threw her a going away party, and I was invited to that going away party, and it was all London themed because that's where she was going. And then as she was over there and studying, she stayed in touch with me, sending me pictures and all of these amazing things that she was doing. And I could just tell even from those posts that she sent me that this was a life-changing experience. And though when she got back, talking to her and meeting with her again, it was like this was absolutely the most incredible piece of her UK experience. And it really helped her solidify what she wanted to do as a future career. And just knowing what a huge impact that had on just that one student was amazing. And I know we do that with students every day. And so that's just one particular item that sticks in mind was her experience with the Fulbright.
What would, I guess, sort of building off of that, what do you think surprises students the most about what your office does?
Well, and I am newer to this. So one of the things I think might surprise them is that we want to work really closely with them. So again, we're not just like, an office that puts up a poster outside our door and say, hey, here's our scholarships and here's the deadlines. We really want to guide students through that process so that they are making the best decisions for them. And I think that might be something that would surprise them, is that we're really hands-on. And when we say, like when I tell my students I have an open door policy, I mean it. If they walk by and my door is open, they can come in. And I've always lived my UK life like that. And I don't plan on stopping it because I really want that one-on-one interaction with students because, so I think maybe that might surprise them a little bit.
So that you're here to help them put their best foot forward,
Yes.
not serve as a hurdle or a stumbling block.
Absolutely.
to
No.
them. So one more $1 million question for this conversation. How can students learn more about your office and the awards and scholarships and fellowships and other opportunities they can apply for?
Mm-hmm. Well, if they've never visited our website, that would be my first suggestion if they just kind of want to ease into what this office offers. And so it's competitiveawards.uky.edu, and our contact information is on there. We also have a general email, so they can reach out to us individually. They can reach out to the general email. They can call us. We, on the bottom of my email signature, they can book time with me. That's convenient for them. But I think that Emily has done such an amazing job with our website and having everything on there and up to date and easy for students to search. So for example, if a student is a biology major, there is a search toolbar and they can type in biology. Or if they are interested in going into healthcare, they can choose from a drop-down menu that healthcare is their field of focus, and it will auto-populate a list of things that they could be eligible for. And so once students kind of have a chance to explore the website, or if they don't want to explore the website, if they're like, you know what, I would rather just go and talk to somebody, that's what we're here for. So we are here Monday through Friday and willing to help any student that even has wants to sit down and do a 30-minute conversation or wants to pop in and ask a quick question.
So a lot of help, both virtual and in person.
Yes, very much.
Well, I want to thank Dr. Schyler Simpson for being with us today on Behind the Blue.
Thank you so much for having me. Had a great time.
Thanks for listening to Behind the Blue. Behind the Blue is a production of the University of Kentucky. For more stories about how the University of Kentucky is advancing our Commonwealth, visit uknow.uky.edu.